Alright, this is Smooth Jazz, the fourth map in Chapter 1. So this map starts out like any others, except actually this one you can't wall strafe up the right side of this thing due to the plant collision. So for this map, you have to wall strafe up the left side. And then this door opens, you're going to want to jump under it as soon as it opens, like that, and shoot a portal down there. Ideally, you want to shoot this portal kind of close to here. But another thing you can do is wait till you're here and shoot it here. The exact angle of this portal really doesn't matter too much as long as you get it there before this cube falls down and you're pressing up against this door before the cube lands on the button. The trigger for the cube dropper is a little bit into the room, so you want to get into it as fast as possible. And then you saw that opening. And the cube flies out of that portal and onto the button. And as long as you're holding W up against the door and it opens for one tick, you'll be able to go through it, even if the cube goes off the button. So, again, this first map in full looks like this. It's on the easier side. And hold W, and then it's free. You want to jump over. Either of these walls works. I like to jump over to this wall because you can keep speed going into the portal because it opens a little bit before you get there. Once you're out here, shoot a portal under that cube, and then shoot this portal a little bit to the left of that blue dot. Also, yeah, actually, I don't know if I can see the trigger. Let me load this save. The trigger to open the portal is really weirdly shaped. I actually had no idea it was shaped like this. But going over to this wall is actually faster than going over to this wall because you hit this trigger earlier. So, portal under the cube, portal next to the dot, and then there's two things you can do here. There's one that's slightly easier, and there's one that's slightly faster. The slightly easier thing to do here is to go through this portal, and then push this cube through the door, kind of like you push it up against the door to the left of the wall of the door so that it'll go through. It's a little bit weird to get. You really just kind of have to mess around with it for yourself. But the reason it works is because the cube thinks it's going through the portal, so it disables collision with the wall behind the portal, but it also disables collision with the door next to the portal. When you're pushing it through, you also kind of want to shove it down because that makes it hit the trigger sooner. And it hitting the trigger, you're hearing it fizzle. That's what causes the door to open. So once you get this through the door, just go through, and then shoot a portal down as you go into the room. And then you'll be able to wait a little bit and jump through the portal. Ideally, you jump through like that to get momentum like this, but you can't just go through it. There's some dialogue triggers. Wait.
Now open. You have trapped yourself. Congratulations. The exit door is now open.
If you jump when he says now, that'll line you up. As long as you see,
you have trapped yourself.
There's a trigger back here.
Door is now open.
As long as you hit this trigger reasonably fast, jumping when he says now will get you in there just fine.
Yourself. Congratulations. The exit door is now open.
And then jump to the end. There's a trigger right here to open this door, and you want to hit that as soon as possible and hit the elevator trigger, which is up somewhere here, as soon as possible, and then get into the elevator as soon as possible. Now, the slightly faster thing I mentioned earlier is you'll want to shoot under there to get the cube, shoot to the left of that dot, except you don't go through the door. You just come slightly out of this portal and you mash your cube to the right, and you can get it right in such a way where it goes through the door itself. And then as soon as the door opens a little bit, what you do is you shoot a blue portal and immediately back up into it. That saves a little bit of time. Well, that can happen also, which is not ideal.
You have trapped yourself. Congratulations. The exit door is now open.
That saves a little bit of time. You saw I was able to jump earlier because you hit this trigger, which closes the portal earlier. But that's a little bit more of an advanced strat. Even I don't do it because it's a little bit of time save, but it's definitely easier to mess up if you don't know what you're doing. All right, and also one last thing to note is that because this map has no trigger, no elevator fade for the end, you can actually pre-hop into the elevator, which looks a little bit like this. Doing pre-hops into the elevator saves like 0.2 of a second in the best of circumstances, and if you do it too early, you can bonk on the elevator, which will just lose all that time. So it's up to you if you want to do it. You'll have to learn the timing yourself, kind of get used to it. Whoopsie.
You have trapped yourself. Congratulations. The exit
It's supposed to
door
look
is
like that.
now open.
But I can kind of explain the timing for pre-ops. When this part of the elevator that goes up reaches about here on the elevator, that's when you want to do your circle jump. Okay, I'm going to run through the map in its entirety once, just as a last showcase. Oops, sorry about that message. Looks like this. Shoot that portal. Hold W here, really important. I do that, but you can do the faster way if you want. And that is smooth jazz.